Hello, and welcome to my presentation on Essentialism as an Educational Philosophy. My name is David Taylor, and I'm at Liberty University. I'm currently finishing up Education 703 with Dr. Barry Dodson. Essentialism was developed by a man named William Bagley. It is a theory of education, a philosophy. William Bagley was born in 1874 and lived till 1946, but most of his work was in the early 20th century. This video is coming from a research paper that I completed with the thesis statement of the primary purpose of education is to set students up for success in the real world through teaching the essential skills, especially literacy and math. And this paper will look at how that relates to current teaching in the 21st century. Some background on William Bagley's life. He was born in the late 1800s in the United States in Michigan. He originally went to school for agriculture, but right after school, he uniquely started teaching with that degree. He fell in love with education, went on to get his master's in psychology, his PhD in psychology. He spent 1 year as an elementary principal, and then he went to do what he loved, teach teachers for 37 years. More background of the time. Progressivism was the leading educational theory of the time. And William Bagley for a long time was even called a progressivist. But the crazy thing is essentialism, his theory, developed out of a need for a change in progressivism. At the time, progressivism was leading to many changes across the educational scene. And the main change was it was focusing on the student and their interest and their needs versus the teacher and their expertise and their knowledge. A final thing that was going on at the time was really tough situations in the United States. World War I, the Great Depression, and World War II all occurred during Bagley's career. Essentialism that Bagley developed, this mostly came out from his ideas in the 1930s, towards the end of his career. It was about getting back to the basics, focusing on the essential skills of literacy and math, and as students got older, combining liberal arts and sciences to give them a great sense of democracy. Essentialism was all about essential skills to educate students so that they could live in a democratic society and they could vote and they could know what was going on around them. And this idea challenged progressivism. There are 5 core tenets of essentialism. Highly effective and efficient teachers was a big one. The curriculum was of basic skills and subjects. There were mastery of high standards, kind of what we're seeing in today's society. Disciplined, orderly, and civil schools, and a goal of producing civilly active, socially responsible, and economically productive citizens. His theoretical approach was mostly theory because he was a professor, but he got to see the practice from the teachers he was teaching. At the colleges he worked at, he wanted to integrate teaching methodology with content knowledge. He focused on pedagogy and structure. He was also the establisher of Kappa Delta Pi at the University of Illinois, which is currently an international honor society with over 1.2 million members. Most of his perspectives on diversity had to be inferred. He didn't write a lot directly about it, but they mostly revolved around democracy, and he saw mobile populations and urbanization causing a problem in the United States, and his solution was implementing a grade level structure. He also believed that all students needed education. His opposing view from essentialism was progressivism, like I said earlier. John Dewey and William Kilpatrick, with the broadening of the student experience and project-based learning, were 2 of his big opponents. Another essentialist who thought like he did was Isaac Kendall, who pushed for student effort, classroom discipline, organized subject matter, and teacher-initiated learning. For the past 100 years, there's been a balance between progressivism and essentialism, kind of a tug of war. The progressive trends were student-centered project-based learning that we see today, and the essentialist trends were standards and accountability and a push for math and literacy. And as we move into this new era, I believe it's time to get back to the basics with essentialism. Here are my references. and my image references. Thank you.